The first time I decided to kill myself, I was 14. I'd been very sick, and at the point, I wasn't sure I was going to make it. I think it was more of a way to take back control than anything else. I remember going into my parents' room and unlocking the gun cabinet that I had been trained how to use. I spread out trash bags all over the room, and I sat on the bed, and I put the gun in my mouth, and I just froze. I could feel the trigger and the roughness of the grooves it had on it. I could feel the tears streaming down my face. Let me tell you, anyone who says killing yourself is a coward's way out does not know what the taste of gunmetal tastes like, you know? So, well, I chickened out. I put the gun back as it was, collected all the trash bags, and I put them away, and no one ever knew. The next time I made a plan, it was similar circumstances. I was in constant pain, and I had an undiagnosed broken back. The doctors told me the pain was just in my head. I was dealing with PTSD from someone trying to kill me, and I was in a new job where it seemed like no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't please anyone. I had so much anxiety and fear every day. My head was on a swivel. I didn't trust anyone. I had seen a psychologist who turned out to be just an asshole that really didn't give a shit. I tried to see a psychiatrist, but none in my town were taking new patients. I don't know. I felt like I was holding everyone back in my life, including my wife. I mean, I began to think about how much better it would be if I were dead. I had a really good insurance policy that paid double if I died in an accident. I thought about it, and my wife could pay off the house, the student loans, and she'd be taken care of for, several years after. I guess it kind of was like my last gift to her in a way, getting back to taking control of my life. I worked with power tools, especially heavy duty saws. I also worked by myself quite a bit. I knew that I could go over to the side building I would work in and be gone for a couple hours without anyone coming to look for me. I would take some blood thinners that morning, and about an hour before I would take some pain meds and then have a, accident. Cutting my wrist, making sure that it was so deep that it would get through the arteries. Well, it was Tuesday. That's what I had settled in my mind, at least. The only problem was that my wife and I were scheduled to take a trip the weekend before. And I kind of thought it was like our last hurrah, but I can't keep anything from her. I knew something, she knew something was up, and finally I told her my plan. Not in detail, not enough at least. She made me promise not to do it. She took me to a mental hospital, and I didn't want to go. In the car, I froze up and begged her just to take me home. She refused. She's tough like that, I guess. I went in, and within a few minutes, they admitted me. I honestly kind of felt like a prisoner at first. They took the shoelaces. They took the cords from my hoodie that I was wearing. I couldn't even have my own pillow. The doors were always locked, and at that point, it was like I had no choice but to stay. The first 2 days there, all I did was cry. In the group meetings, in the community space, in the cafeteria, in my room, I cried so much. I ran out of tears, just but the emotional release just kept coming back. I met with a psychiatrist, ironically, the one I tried to get into before she wasn't taking patients. I told her my story of how I got PTSD, of my chronic pain. And she said, I remember what she said. She said, you're my patient now, and I'm going to take care of you. And not only did they get me regulated on anxiety and depression meds, but also meds for my nightmares and for my back pain. And they gave me what I needed. Being in pain 24/7 will really mess with your head. And I think the best thing was I slept. I slept so hard and so deep, like without fear of nightmares or of pain. For the first time in over a year, I slept straight through the night. I was there for a week, and I remember by the time I left, I was helping the newbies who were coming in get adjusted. I remember listening to and having my arm around them, and there was this one guy that looked like he was from like Hell's Angels. And here I am, he's crying, tears were just like dripping from his eyes all the way down to the floor, and I'm holding him. I didn't say anything. We were just there, just being there for him. I'm not gonna lie and just tell you that I never think about killing myself. I think at some point everyone does, no matter their circumstances. We all hurt. We all have our demons, and as a society, we have been trained not to think about it or talk about it. Just shut it down. Needing help shows weakness. Mental health issues are seen as something that should be accompanied by shame, but it's not real. I think the best thing that came out of me going into the hospital was that I realized I wasn't alone. There were nurses and teachers, blue-collar workers. There wasn't even a lawyer in there. People of different races and faiths. Like I said, we all have our demons. We all have our battles. We are warriors that fight every day to survive. To me, that takes a lot of guts, a lot of strength, and a lot of support. I know I wouldn't be here if I hadn't had that support. So I guess I'm saying you never know what's going on inside your friends or your family. Check on them, be there for them. And if you're having these thoughts, reach out. If someone doesn't listen, reach out again. Just keep fighting. Don't give up. It gets better.